Hi, Mark here from the Tangent-Bound Podcast Network and host of the flagship show, the Tangent-Bound Podcast. Did you know that we over at Tangent-Bound are always looking for amazing podcasts to promote? And did you also know that we are also proud nerds and geeks of everything from movies, music, gaming, TV shows, and comic books to wrestling, MMA, soccer, and football? Whatever you can nerd or geek out about, we've got it. And if you're interested, we can help you find it. And if you're a show looking for a place to call home, we've got you covered. Side effects may include upset stomach, dizziness, tumors, shakes, and in some rare cases, death from excessive laughter. Though to be fair, it's only sometimes. Other side effects may include diarrhea, gallstones, heart palpitations, and strong desire for cookies on the dark side. Talk to your doctor and visit TangentBoundNetwork.com and see if Tangent-Bound Network is right for you.
Sucks to the last drop. Are you gonna blow your head off? Take good aim and don't forget to duck. Life sucks every Monday and all the way to Sunday, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't care how you're doing, what's up or how's it hanging. I'd like to buy this world one last drink. Life sucks all of the time. Stick it up your sunshine, and then you'll see the clouds every day. And then you'll see the clouds every day. And then you'll see the clouds every day.
Welcome to the Crazy Life, everyone. My name's Jen, and I am your hostess for the evening. And as always, we have Brian and no Hanno.
No Hanno this week. That's all right.
Oh, yeah, but he's working hard. He shot us one of his new songs, and it sounds amazing.
Yep.
So
yeah, I really dug it.
It is really cool. There's something special about like hearing his voice in that arena. You know, we hear him so much talking with us, but to actually hear him singing and stuff, it's cool.
Yeah, it is. I agree.
So, well, I guess I will get us started here. I'll kick us off. Yeah, been a lot of status quo. It's been interesting to kind of see as the year progresses, getting much more settled into my routines and stuff. Again, it's kind of nice. I have really slowed down on the whole dating thing and been focusing more on me again. And so it's been kind of fun. Watching new shows, new movies, reading. I read a book.
Nice.
I haven't read a book in a while.
Yeah, me neither.
But I just read a book, and I got it from the library, so I had 21 days, and I read it in 15. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
So it's in a trilogy, so I picked up the second one, or downloaded the second one. So we'll continue on that and see what happens. So... And work's doing good. In a couple more weeks, I'm going to Utah, which will be so much fun. I'm going with my mom and my aunt to go visit my brother. But the whole traveling thing, I know I've done this so many years in a row, obviously, or because I've been traveling since I was a little kid. So I know the process.
Yeah.
I know what my head goes through. I know what my body goes through every single time.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts about now. We are just like about 10 days away. So already I have to do all the laundry. And then as I'm putting laundry away, I have to do my initial pack. So initial pack is stage 1. And stage 1 is you make a couple different piles. You start researching the weather and then having the options. And once we go through the sorting process, usually 2 or 3 times, we get down to a reasonable amount of clothing and things to actually go.
Right.
But this is only the first stage, so we can be a little bit generous with what we pull out.
Right.
So that'll be probably tomorrow. We'll start putting things together and then laying them out in outlet or outfit formats, so I can make sure that I'm not missing any jewelry and or accessories that I may want.
Right.
Yeah. So, and for those out there that think this is an absolute craziness, that you just grab a bag, throw a bunch of stuff in, then you catch the plane 2 hours later, I understand.
Well, that's typically how men pack. I don't know about women, but most men I know, that's pretty much how a lot of us pack. I mean, I'm not one of those. You know that. I'm very much write a very detailed list of every little thing, get all my stuff together, like, okay, here's all my toiletries, here's all this and this, and, double check it 14 times and still feel like I forgot something when I leave.
Oh, yeah. I already, because I've been trying to do keeping way too much in my head and doing numbers and figures and all this other stuff. And I'm overwhelming myself already.
Right.
So, So I, of course, have to start making actual physical lists. I have to take the stuff out of my head and put it somewhere else, because my head can't hold everything all at once like that.
Yeah.
It gets me anxious. It gets me very overwhelmed, and it starts to have some pretty negative effects on my life. So
sure,
we've learned, get those things out of there.
Yep.
So I'm getting all that started, and then I guess one more thing I wanted to mention to everybody. So Brian got a text Thursday night.
You're talking to your brother?
No, talking to you.
Oh, okay. Oh, right. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
And if hopefully the gentleman's not listening to this show, but if he is, it's not him. He truly was a very sweet man. But I did go on a date, and it was one of the more, well, all right, it's top 3 most disturbing date I've been on. And it is 100% not because of that gentleman, because, again, very, very nice man. I cannot underscore that enough.
Okay.
Yeah, he was very appropriate. He treated me with respect. Big gentleman, just, But the problem is that when he arrived and we met for the first time, he had specific mannerisms and, physical attributes that mirrored my brother's.
Oh, wow.
And it was so, if you looked at a picture of him, you probably wouldn't, put it together.
Yeah.
But just seeing him in person, and some of the mannerisms and things and how he said things, it just brought my brother to mind so clearly that I was immediately creeped out.
Sure.
Because my reaction is like, I'm dating my brother.
Right.
Yeah. And every time the gentleman would make any sort of, flirtatious or whatever, it was almost like my body wanted to recoil, because and now that his main connection.
Yeah, you can't unsee it, right?
Yes, this person reminds me of my brother.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yes. And it was just one of those moments. I'm like, I can't. And my logical self is, this is a nice man. He's doing, he's very interesting. And so my logical part of me is like, you're being.
Get over it. Yeah, right.
Yeah, this is not right. But nope, it was done.
I will say this, though. Our brains a lot of times come up with irrational reasons to not go back on a date with a person, like their eyes are too close together or some dumb thing like that, But this one's one I can totally get with you on, is that, you know, if I went out with somebody and they reminded me of my sister, you know, I'd be like, nope. You know, it'd just be too weird. Yeah.
I just can't. And so we were supposed to go to an open mic comedy evening at a comic shop or a comedy shop. So I was super excited because I've never been to an open mic. And so I was really excited to go see what this was about. Well, we walk over there, and unfortunately, open mic was the night before. So this was a scheduled comedian comic show. So I'm like, that's fine, whatever, like $15 to get in type of thing. And we go and we sit down and we get a drink. Unfortunately, this was some of the more disturbing and gross humor that I have seen live pretty much ever.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So this entire day is like me setting myself up to be nauseous. I mean, it is. It's like, you know, I want to have the worst hangover ever, so let me drink gallons of grocery store vodka.
Right.
It's in date form. So I'm like, great, this is fabulous. They're talking, like, the comedians were talking about, and I will not go into detail, folks, because of the type of show that we have, but, things they learned about their body through their siblings. Okay. You know, how to pleasure themselves and things like that. It's like, oof. And then bodily functions, both male and female, in the stains that they can make.
Oh, wow. Fun.
Oh, my God. Yeah, it was, and I'm not a prude when it comes to my comedy. Like, I'm pretty much, if it's funny, it's funny. And
right.
I can hang with most stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're going to be going that level of shock factor, there needs to be a legitimate point behind it other than just the shock.
Yeah. Usually the way most comedians are, will do something like that and then they kind of bring you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not saying it just for the shock factor. You're actually saying it because there's a legitimate point behind it.
Yeah, right.
You know, that there's a message that they're trying for you to hear, like an overarching message.
Right.
I was not getting that in this. I was getting more of, let's see how offensive and disgusting we can be.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not good.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that kind of comedy either. I'm with you. It's like if you're going to be real disgusting and all this stuff, it's like it needs to have a payoff.
Yeah.
Not just gross, you know? And I'm with you. I listen to, you know, the comedians that I've listened to and like. I mean, they can, you know, they're edgy comedians or ones that get into some real uncomfortable territory, but it's with, they're doing it to usually push a boundary or bring you, like I said, they'll bring you back and then realize, you know, something else. And yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah. So it was just the combination of everything. I really have never, it literally was like top 3 worst dates of all time.
Right.
And like I said, I feel awfully been saying.
Which is really funny considering that, like you said, that he was nice and it wasn't him, but it still can get up into that top 3 because of just the circumstances of everything involved, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the worst part about it was that he legitimately could not have done anything different to make the date go better.
Right.
You know, he did everything he was supposed to do. It's just, unfortunately, sometimes in life, we just get that something reminds me of, you know, something else, and it's a done deal.
It would be similar to, like, you know, if you went out with somebody, they just reminded you of your ex. You know, and it was a bad situation with your ex, kind of a thing, you know, and you're just like, nope, you know, like, I don't want this. Yeah, it's
not it.
Yeah.
My mom's very sweet. She's like, well, you like your brother? And I said, well,
I like that.
Yes, of course. You know, I love my brother and we get along great and we have a lot of fun when we hang out together.
If it was just sense of humor, it'd be one thing. You know, like, oh, his mannerisms are in that respect, or his sense of humor remind me of my brother. Sure, that's no problem. But yeah, when you get into,
I literally, you know, for whatever reason, and I don't know why, but whenever we would even be starting to flirt, I seriously felt like I was flirting with my brother, and it would just creep me out.
Oh man, if I just named the show after stuff said in the show, the episode name would be Flirting with My Brother.
Oh my God. So anyhow, so that was my life fun night.
Wow.
Yeah. And the comedy show, and I ended up driving well, let's just say an hour each way.
Right.
For this pleasure.
Yeah.
So, but you know, you live, you learn, you get a good story.
Yeah, because it's not one of those kind of things that you overcome and then it's like, oh, you wouldn't believe our first date story. You know, like, yeah, this is one that if you told that and then continued to date the person, it wouldn't be a funny story. People would just be like, wait.
Right.
It reminds you of your brother and you kept dating him? Like,
yeah.
This is getting real weird.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think it's just underscoring even more the further I go down this rabbit hole, that I still have more work to be done. I'm getting closer.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer to a place where I feel like I can start having more in-depth, you know, conversations about relationships with people, but I'm definitely not in a place that needs to be settling down at any stretch.
Right.
So, other than with myself,
yeah,
I can date myself for a little while longer and just be fine.
Right.
And then I tried a new app called Hinge. Well, new to me.
Yeah.
Called Hinge, and I signed up for it, and I have had one match in a week.
Yeah. I've been on it I was on it before a long time ago. Like when it first came out, I was on it and had no response at all on it. And recently I, got back on it. And like I told you, I had, 4 responses, or 4 likes, essentially, one of which had a comment with it. Because for anyone who doesn't know, this app has like prompts and stuff to kind of be icebreakers, and you can like someone's prompt or their picture and comment on it, which I think the idea of that is interesting. But I'm the same as you, as I've had basically no real interaction off of it. So yeah, I don't but in fairness, that's pretty much my experience with any other app as well. So
well, it's odd because usually when I sign on to an app, the initial week or so, you kind of are flooded with different things. But yeah, this time, nothing, not even the initial, spam bots and stuff.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. It's a different beast. Like even the people that I see on it, even if I have the same filters that I have on, say, Bumble or Twitter or not Twitter, sorry, Tinder or something, it shows me a whole different type of person. And I don't know if that's just based on the demographic that is signed up for it. Because that's one thing I've for sure noticed about each of the apps is they have a very, each one,
brand.
Yeah, you kind of see more of one thing on each one. So it's interesting to me. And I haven't looked at Hinge enough to fully see what it is. Other than for me, I see a lot of older women. Like the age demographic that I have in there, even though my range is, in the 30s to mid 50s, basically, I see mostly 50s.
Gotcha.
So, which isn't, I don't care, but it's also I realize what it does is it shows me just how much I don't have in common with a lot of 50-year-olds. Even though we're not that far off of that, So
I think our generation's kind of in a rough spot.
Yeah.
Because the people below us are very different, and the people above us are really different.
Right.
So unless you're really much trying to date someone in the same spot you are, it makes it harder.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but yeah, I'm with you. I don't know. Like at this point, if it was a pass fail situation with Hinge, I would just get rid of it because I just at this point don't see any merit to it.
I agree. I'm talking with the one person I did match with. I am talking with him right now, so I wouldn't get rid of Hinge until
just yet.
That's been resolved. But
right. Yeah, that would be just ghost them in the middle of it. Yeah,
exactly. I'm not going to do that. So,
well, I guess while we're talking about all this, you should maybe mention your other podcast on this feed real quick.
Oh yes, for those who are subscribed to The Crazy Life, you'll probably have started seeing a couple episodes popping up called Dating Insanity. I have to make sure I'm getting the name right here.
Yeah.
So it's called Dating Insanity. I'm doing the show with my co-host, Steve. Steve and I have done podcasts together in the past. And we are both very single and talk about our journey with the dating world and the work and things that we're doing to help keep our sanity through the insane task of trying to find a partner. So that's kind of what that's about. And, the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Guess what we're doing?
Yeah, and that's like you said, that's just popping up right in the same feed as this. So if that's something you're into, you don't have to do anything new. It'll already be delivered to your whatever app you're using, to your aggregator or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and if you're someone who doesn't subscribe, yeah, and if you don't want to listen to it, then just ignore it, I guess.
Yeah, it's half an hour, so they're not long. And hopefully they keep you entertained. And I'd love to hear your feedback. So please let me know what you guys think. And I guess that's it for me. How about you, Brad?
I told you about, some, like, me and Jen hung out this past week. So we, kind of some of the stuff, like very little of it that we've talked about so far, we talk about. But, I told her that this past week I've kind of found some wins in that, I did the initial submission for school. Her and I had a really good talk about that. And by the way, thank you for that, because I think I really needed someone to kind of point out what you told me was that, my mind was kind of already made up, basically. Mm-hmm. I think I really did need that. Although, a follow-up on it, I told Jen I was having trouble deciding between graphic design and accounting for school. And I said part of it, is that I know with accounting, it's kind of a profession that's on the rise and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, odds are AI won't wreck it and all this. Seriously, later that night, I read an article that was like industries that AI could alter quickly. And the very first one was accounting, because I guess there's already accounting firms using AI for the entry-level stuff. Now, that doesn't mean that the whole industry is going to go away, but I just laughed because I had just kind of told you, I was like, well, graphic design may not be AI proof. And there's already been things I've seen out there to where, especially considering for anyone who hasn't done any sort of graphic design work, typically if you show a client or potential client 3 things, the one you think is the most garbage is the one they will pick. Or the one with the least creativity, all that kind of stuff is the one that they're going to want. And AI is going to basically just show them what they want. They're going to go, I want this, this, and this, and AI is going to give that to them, whereas a designer might go, oh, I don't want to do that because it breaks this rule and this rule. AI won't care. It'll go, here it is, and the people will go, neat, and then, and whatever. So as much as it, so there's more potential, I think, there for AI to really wreck that industry than there is for it in, whereas in accounting, they're just going to go, this is just basic stuff. We can program a computer to do this or check these things. And then humans will come through and double check it, basically. Mm-hmm. Well, the goal will be to be one of those humans that double checks it, right? So the industry doesn't get eliminated. It just changes ever so slightly. So whereas design, I think it can actually be, it could be wrecked pretty good, I think, because of, like I said, I've already seen where people have put things into an AI and you're like, oh boy, like that would take me hours to come up with, and this thing did it in like 15 minutes, So anyway, but I did that. I emailed the the college, about, classes and all that, which was cool. They responded to me and they were like, here are the classes that are available this coming fall, so you can look at what is available for, because I wanted to do my stuff online. And there's quite a few classes available online. So, so it looks like that won't be a problem. Either way, either major, that would not be a problem. But, I'm going to lean toward accounting, at least at first. And if I get into it and I feel like it's something I absolutely can't handle, then maybe I'll reevaluate or whatever. But that right now is the goal. So in the past week, I did that. I, with your help, not made the decision like you said. I kind of feel like it was probably already made, but I think I just needed to recognize that I had done it. And, and also had some, I told you about the, I put a thing up on Instagram. I've really liked there's this thing, it's like NGL or something like that. And you can put a link where people can ask you or tell you anonymous things. Right. And I liked it because people can just literally say whatever they want. And, almost all of it that I've had has been really nice and positive. There's only been like one that wasn't. And, it allows me to kind of open up and say stuff, just to help me be less introverted, And, one of them a while ago had something to do with, someone saying, if I asked you out, what would you say, basically? Or would you say yes? And it didn't register to me who it would be for months. And then it just hit me and I was like, oh, because as we've covered on here before, and if you've listened to Salty Language, I am very oblivious to anyone in any sort of flirtatious manner. And for anyone who's not a longtime listener, I literally had a woman at a bar say, I'm hitting on you, right? And I said no, because I did no clue. Because my low self-esteem basically says it assumes they're not. So like most people, it might be like, are they or aren't they? For me, it's automatically they're not, So on this recent round of this, because I've been doing it about once a week or so just for fun, and this last one, I asked, or someone said, I've had a crush on you for years and you don't even know it. And, which is absolute hell to someone like me, because my brain can't have loose ends. I need to tie everything up. My brain wants the closure on everything. So I immediately start racking my brain, like, who could it be? Analyzing the wording and all this other stuff. And, finally coming to grips with I posted a thing basically saying, hey, give me a hint or something like that. And basically, as me and Jen talked, it's out there for them to do something with now. It's no longer mine to worry over. It was just kind of funny. But in the process, I essentially shot my shot with two different people. And that is very much not like me. I probably haven't shot my shot with two people in the last 10 years, let alone right. let alone in 1 week, But anyway, it's, I've been looking on dating apps and different stuff, and I've tried to make myself swipe right more on the ones where swiping is the thing. Because I realized via Tinder that I basically play do Tinder the way a pro poker player plays hands, which is that I'm basically throwing away 80%. In fact, my number is lower. Like, I'm probably only swiping right on like 10% to 15%.
Yeah, me too.
So it's like, okay, there's such a thing as being picky, and then there's such a thing as maybe you need to cast a little wider net for the sake of, you know, just making sure you're not being too picky over stuff.
Yeah.
You know, now with mine, there is a lot of things like, you know, I don't want someone with kids, and it's nothing against people who have kids. I'm glad that they're part of your life and they make you happy and all this, but I can't handle kids. And I know that. I don't have the temperament for it. I never have had the temperament for it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so a lot of times that's why so many get swiped left on, because it feels like everyone in our age range has children. So, and the sad part is a lot of the apps don't allow for, like, hey, all my kids are 18, you know?
Right, exactly.
Which is very handy. I forgot, was it Bumble, I think, that does? Or there's one of them that does. And I'm like, this is nice because I can go, oh, you have grown children. Those won't affect I don't have to worry about, you know, crying kids and kids being annoying to me and all that kind of stuff. So, anyway. But, you know, so it's been kind of cool feeling that, seeing that, telling people that I've, you know, had that. And also, you know, I got my blood work back from my doctor, and most of the numbers are pretty good on it. You know, he lowered my gout medicine, which is cool because my uric acid's been down, and I'm on, I forgot where I'm at with my antidepressant. I'm on a lower dose, and I go Monday to actually probably have it reduced again. And then see where I'm at from that point, you know, because you don't want to just cold turkey anything, of course.
Of course.
So I'm, you know, working with my doctor on that. So it's felt weird. It's felt overwhelming, but also all felt really good. You know, like I really feel like in my head I'm moving the right way.
It definitely feels that way.
Yeah, or I'm at least moving.
Yeah.
You know?
And that you're yeah, exactly. I think you're moving in a positive direction.
Or at least I feel like I'm trying to move in a positive direction, at least. You know, instead of just existing and drifting. Yeah. You know, so
I think you are moving.
Yep. So that's been really, really cool. I you know, it's been a long time since I felt that way. And in the time I've been on a slightly lower dose of my antidepressant, I haven't felt any different, honestly. And I think if anything, I think I've felt a little better.
Oh, well.
But that doesn't necessarily mean it's the antidepressant situation, you know, like, because there's been positive stuff and I'm feeling the positive stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it could just be that is what's going on here, you know, so I'm not taking that as too strong of a message. But when on some of the days where I felt kind of down, I'm still not feeling like really down or anything like that. So everything,
that's good.
Yeah, you know, there's no reason at this point I can't progress to the next step.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like I said, I have therapy Monday, and then immediately, like, I'm walking right out of her office across the building to my primary care office for an appointment.
Fun. Nice.
Yeah, which is nice that it's in the same building. I can do that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's pretty much been it for me. So.
All right. Well, folks, and I do apologize. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter episode this week because we just want to make sure that we touched base with you, gave you a little heads up on what's going on with us in a kind of recap format here. But we will do our best to get another one out to you as quickly as possible. But for now, if you'd like to continue the conversation with Brian or I, or shoot Henno a message, you know what you can do. You can reach us at the Crazy Life Podcast at outlook.com is our email. crazylifepodcast.weebly.com is our website. You could also reach us on Facebook. Make sure you check out my newest episode of Dating Insanity with Steve. Should be on your feed, just waiting for you. And Brian, how can they reach you?
You can find my other podcast at salty_language on Twitter or at saltylanguage.com. And that's just me and my best friend talking about most of the time it's a lot of pop culture, just things we run across. Like this week we talked about the Blue Beetle movie trailer, WWE being purchased by Endeavor, WrestleMania, the Secret Invasion trailer, what else? Canadian Super Pigs. We talked about me making honey sesame chicken, which should have been a really easy thing to make, and I made it as complicated as possible. So there's all that. So if any of that, appeals to you, please give us a listen. Again, that show's not safe for work, so be careful with that. You can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Stunami. You can find this show on Facebook at facebook.com/group/crazylifepodcast. You can find Henno on Twitter at Ida Henno, or on Facebook at Henno Heiter. Or, if you have to, just hit the show up and we'll make sure he gets a message or whatever. I think that's all. Oh, we're part of the Tangent Bound Network, which can be found at tangentboundnetwork.com. So please go check out the other shows there. And if you need help, please reach out. There's all sorts of help out there for people. So please reach out, if there's something that you need. We know it's really hard and, everything, but we've all done it for, whichever reasons we've needed to. So please, please try. And also please check on your friends. If you haven't talked to them in a while, just make sure they're doing okay. And, as usual, just please try to be nice to people and just try to put kindness out there, across the board. Just a little bit here and there can make such a big difference, and, just make the world a lot better. And for anyone who celebrates, I hope everybody has a nice Easter. If you spend it with family, I hope, you get something nice out of that. Hopefully the food's good and all that kind of stuff. And, and if you don't, then just ignore what I just said and hope you have a nice Sunday.
Exactly. And Little Caesars, I want to thank you for bringing back my absolute favorite worst food ever, which is their pretzel pizza with cheddar cheese sauce.
Right.
Oh my Lord. If you like salt and you like cheese.
Oh, I'm sure it's loaded with salt. Yeah.
And you like pretzels, soft pretzels. This is amazing. It is beyond amazing and horrible. Absolutely horrific for you. Sure. Like anything on Taco Bell's menu times 5, this is that much worse for you than that. But, so amazing. Thank you, Little Caesars. With that, go out there and have the absolute best week you can possibly have. We will be putting another show out as quick as we can for you. And with that, don't forget, wiggle your toes.